We're back. Okay, so we're going to do one now that is still using both the referencing method from reference points on the horizon line, as well as a little bit of referencing from a particular height of eye level, like we did when we counted down from the eye level and back up. So we'll do both in one diagram, let's say, and we'll have a person lying down in this one not feeling well as a distant figure, just to kind of mix it up a little bit and to showcase how they can be used together. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and pick a spot where I think I want, a standing person. So I'll just say about here. And I'll say that person is, let's say, 6 foot. So I'll go ahead and pick some place I want them standing. Maybe a little bit below that here, actually. We'll do that. Okay. I'll give them an official vertical. So here we go. We don't know how tall they are yet. Okay. Here's their base on the ground. Okay. So we'll split that in half again, about there. And we'll add another one, a little higher, another one. So let's say we agree that's about 6 foot, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. We'll make it clear that this is 2 feet, so we'll go ahead and write that in. That's a 2 foot eye level. So we'll put in our horizon line eye level at 2 foot, and we'll also say over here, eye level 2 foot. Okay, so now we know for sure that we're sitting on a flat plane looking out at 2 feet. We've just found 2 feet at the beginning of our 6 foot person. I'll make it real clear, 1 foot in red, 2 foot, 3 foot, 3 foot, 4 foot, 5 foot, 6 foot, basically. Let's go ahead and draw that person out, real basic. Again. Okay. Then we have the body coming down, a little bit of waist coming down for the feet. Okay. There we go. Hands in the pocket so we can do this quick. Okay. There's our little person. Okay. So that was got figure A. That's the counting method from the eye level down and up. So we've got a 6 foot figure. We'll want to put another one, let's say, over here, another figure here. This will be also same size. So again, we'll give that person a vertical and a position on the picture plane officially with our T-square. All right, we'll shoot that up. All right. And first, we'll count off with the counting method that this is still 2 feet. And I'll go actually just use my red this time. That's 1 foot, 2 foot now, 2 foot eye level. Go ahead and estimate 3, 4, 5, 6, just an estimate by hand. And we'll call that figure B. All right. And again, there's the ground. So we've just used and gotten the height of figure B using the counting method down from the eye level, 2 foot eye level and up. But let's also go ahead and rehearse the fact that we could take base A to base B and get a reference point and come back that way just to see how we did. I'll do that in red as well. So base A through base B should give us a reference plane or reference point first. Let's call that RP number 1. Then if we come back from the established A down to that, we should get a height. So that's pretty close right there. Okay, so I'm a little off. Since I hand counted real quick, that's pretty fine. Okay, so now we've got a plane. We won't shade it in yet, but now we've got both a reference plane referencing A to B, and we counted. So I'll go ahead and draw in figure B. Okay. Okay. All right. Woman this time, 6 foot also, so she's tall, that's fine. Let's do it. 6 foot woman and 6 foot man. Okay, so we got 6 foot woman. We entirely referenced by A, getting the increments down from the picture plane at that scale from her particular point in the picture plane, which is a smaller scale than this person's because they're farther forward in the picture plane. We then counted up the rest of the way to get her height, but we also confirmed it and did it again by the reference point method as well. Okay, so now as another idea, I'm going to kick a straight line out from figure B to the left on the picture plane, like that. And I'm going to go ahead and realize her height directly laying down to the side of her by using a 45-degree angle. Okay, there's her height. And I'll do that in blue. The point is, by using a 45-degree angle, I'm getting the same increment I have for height as I want for horizontally for length. So it's a fast way to do it. I'll just mention that we do it here. That's 45 degrees. And that gives us that. So here, base of woman to this mark is the same length as she is tall. So now that can become a reference for if someone's lying down. Okay, so what we want to do next is we're going to say that someone's laying down back here. So we're going to say, how about if I wanted to put the head right here of someone that was lying down and then have their body going this way. They're obviously laying quite a bit back in the picture plane again. Okay, so it's not really on this reference line, it's a little bit over. So I'm like, well, how do I reference what I already know is this proper laying down length from someone whose head starts there? I don't know where to put the feet. Well, I can simply go from one end of this rod, which represents her height, put it through to make a reference point. I'll call that RP number 2. And then if I come back from that reference point there to the end of what we know is the proper lying length, over there we cross here. And that gives us the laying down length of someone in the background. So if I want, I can simply make that a head. There's the torso. There's the legs, feet sticking straight up. Little arms. Okay. So there's the proper height, or I should say length, of someone laying down parallel to the picture plane. This figure is laying down a certain distance back that we referenced from originally figure B's height, then laid them down, and then that gave us a reference point or plane that we could start with as kind of a rod. Then we'd randomly pick the position of the laying down person, marking their head first and just casting them horizontally. Then we made a reference point by the base of this at the feet going through the head position to make reference point 2, because we didn't know how long to make that figure. Once we have reference point 2, we can return to what we know is the full length of the original reference plane for a laying figure, and coming through to here, crossing the plane of where we were laying down a person, we get this mark here. And I'll explain through once again. So the idea is that in red, we have a plane that started with figure A, randomly selected. We also counted down from the eye level and up to get the height. We then took figure B's position, randomly chose it, marked an area on the ground, and also got that person from counting down from the 2-foot eye level and then back up to 6 foot. It's a woman. But we also said we'll confirm and then double that idea by going base to base and making a reference point, just to exercise the fact we could do it both ways. We came through the same thing, so now we have a reference plane and we have the counting from the eye level for both of them. Thirdly, I wanted to reference a lying down person back there from figure B. And of course, the lying down person we'll call figure C. Now, figure C, I didn't know where I wanted to put them, so what I did is I made a laying down reference with a 45-degree angle, which gives me the same length here as the width here. Okay, so just to make that clear, these are the same. Okay, that gave me a reference, just shooting straight out horizontally from figure B. Now I randomly placed the position at the end of the head of figure C. That meant if that's the one end of figure C and the other one end is going to scuttle over here horizontally, then I'm going to take the ground reference of this end of the figure laying down, go through that point to make a reference point number 2. Then by going back to this point, which is the end of the figure laying down in the larger reference, because I've referenced these two together to make a reference point, I can come back from the reference point and shoot through the plane of the laying down person to go through to here. That gives me the length of the laying down person in the distant picture plane. So now we have a 6-foot person standing, a 6-foot woman standing, and a laying down person, and that's figure C. The idea there, again, would be that we can use the different methods in different ways, but it's still either way, if you count down or if you reference, you're getting people to be similar heights if you wish, or if they're different heights. You can simply say, oh, if a 5-foot person's there, then I could make, on the same reference point I use for reference 1, I could make a 5-foot person anywhere by referencing simply here, 4, 3, 2. So you can basically interchange the way you use these depending on what you need. So again, 6-foot man, 6-foot woman, laying down woman representation as a plane here using the 45 degrees, picking randomly a position of a laying down person, head there, referencing that from ground, figure B, making reference point 2, coming back gives us the feet of the laying down person. And again, you can repeat these ideas as long as you have your head clear about what reference points you need to use. And by the way, this can use, these can be used in paintings when you're doing just wet-to-wet lay-ins with a thin brush. You can be drawing this directly on your canvas. All these methods obviously can be used in the middle of a painting. They're very simple referencing and counting methods. As long as you have an eye level and you have an understanding of how you want to scale people based on a couple objects in your painting already having a true height and width, you can use these methods all over the place without having to do any real measuring or even anything that technical, even with the cone of vision, as long as they're reasonably in the picture. So again, this is not just about doing diagrams. This is about the idea of what you can do with many, many other things in finished drawings, paintings, and all sorts of stuff. Okay, so again, 2 figures standing, 1 laying down by 2 different reference methods. And the 2 methods are counting down and up from a fixed level of eye level, which was 2 feet in this case, but also we used horizon line eye level reference points on the horizon to get our some of our referencing. Okay. And we'll go on to the next now.